What is going on, Commanders? This is a big episode, guys, as we get ready to mock draft on this channel. But we got a special guest. Y'all know this name pretty well around the landscape on Twitter and on YouTube. Yes, we have John Taylor joining our show today on Command Time with Kayla, Caleb, and your boy DT. Let's go ahead and get started.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, we ready right now. It's about time. I know it's about time. It's about time.
What's going on, everybody? On a good Tuesday, it's your boy DT. We got Caleb, we got Kayla, and introducing our guy, Josh Taylor.
What's going on, y'all? That might be the best intro in the game, honestly. I love that. The song and everything is dope, man. I need to step mine up, man. That was good.
I appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it.
But I need y'all's person.
Yeah, but appreciate you hopping on the show today. You've been growing the past couple of years. A guy like me, I've been looking up to you, seeing some of the stuff you've done. Just want to say my piece. I'm proud of you. To see the growth of how you started, where you at right
now. I appreciate that. Honestly, it's all good people in here, and honestly, I love everyone. It's funny because I remember like a couple years back, like it seemed like all of like the content creators like hated each other. I'm like, why? Like I don't get it. There's only like 2 or so that I just don't talk to. I don't hate them. I don't hate nobody, honestly, but. Honestly, we just have like a lot of really good creative people like in the fan base, and it's good to see like everyone add like their little touch to it. Like, I don't think I do anything like special aside from anyone. Like, I'm just me, and I think that goes for a lot of people, especially y'all too. Just you're adding your own little personal touch. No one can duplicate that. So I love what y'all do, and I'll come on here anytime, honestly.
You're welcome anytime. Anytime you're welcome.
Appreciate that.
So we got about 16 more days until the draft.
Thank God.
16 more days. This franchise hopefully will change for the better for the first time in a long, long time. But we're going to go ahead and do a mock tonight. Are y'all ready to get into the mock?
Oh, yeah. We're going to debate number 2 for a little bit, or are we just going to?
Yo, before we get to the mock.
Let's go to the mock. It's going to be a long debate.
How do you feel about the offseason so far, Josh?
I mean, honestly, I love the free agency. Like, I knew, like, obviously we had to sign a lot of players just because there was a lot of roster holes. But I feel like they, like, knew exactly what they wanted to do, and they didn't want to just sign, like, anybody and everybody. And they wanted to get, like, all these younger guys that were ready to have more of a role, like Dorrance Armstrong. Tyler Biadasz is another one that just seems like they're going to be good starters in the league. It's just they were waiting for that opportunity. But then adding guys like Austin Ekeler, Bobby Wagner, Zach Ertz, like these veteran guys, I think those are like impact guys too. Like, I'm not expecting Zach Ertz to have like 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. No, but I think he's going to be a reliable guy that can help implement what Cliff wants to do. And I think you can see that from a lot of guys. Bobby Wagner worked with Dan Quinn before, same thing. He's going to implement that defense. Anthony Lynn with Austin Ekeler. Like, there's a lot of familiar faces. Of course, the Cowboys players that came over here too. As much as Washington players fans hate, seeing Cowboy players. Like, you could tell they knew exactly what they were doing, and they had certain people that they wanted here to implement like that blueprint. But then also just the new attitude around the building. I mean, talking with Austin yesterday, he was like, everyone's just like, there's no ego. Like, it's just everyone's on the same page. They just got to get things going. And I'm excited. And I think we'll add some really good players in the draft too to really, hit the ground running. I'm not expecting some like rebuild season. Like, that doesn't exist in the NFL. Like, you got to hit the ground running.
Yeah, for me, honestly, I give this whole off season so far until we get our quarterback. I say I'll give it a B. Most people know I really wasn't too fond of the Marcus Mariota signing. I did want Sam to continue to be the backup here, but I understood the reasons why we had to move on from Sam, and I really hope he does well. And then with some of the other guys, the guy that I like that most people are talking about as well is Frankie Louvu. Like to actually have linebackers is just so it's just so exciting. We really never really had them in so long. We done
That's
had Mayo
the
out
best thing we had in 10 years.
Yeah.
like we're just getting depth at that position. Just not one big splashy guy. We're getting depth pieces that fit our culture. We're having our coaches talk to these previous linebackers like at Khaliki Hudson, tell him you don't fit our scheme. We still like what you do. He found himself a new home. But you see the guys who really aren't doing nothing like a Bart and a Mayo just sitting around. You know what type of talent we really had in the coaching. It's just to me a big 180. All it turns to a 360 once they play on the field. But so far, I can see the change in their attitude, and all the players is so refreshing having them go into a camp, no media noise. They just talking ball, getting to know one another. Like that stuff is annoying. You already got enough going on with football already. You already got to maintain family. Then on top of that, you got to maintain what you say to the media. You got to maintain what you say on social media. It's just a lot on a person as a human. Like I'm happy
Oh, yeah.
this team actually has a fresh off season with no type of noise other than football related noise and no one getting to know each other in the coaching.
Yeah, I think you'll see that theme. We're not going to have a bunch of like big stories coming up throughout the season, none of that. And I was like, kind of telling people last year, like the timing of like the sale of the team, like you couldn't expect it so much. Like we knew things were just going to get blown up. Like we knew there was going to be a new head coach. We knew there was going to be a new GM. Like last season, I hate to say it was just kind of like this, like a filler, like this buffer season. Like no one, like honestly, like
A
I was,
lot of falls. A lot of people had a lot of hope for EB. That's about it.
yeah, maybe he'd be the head coach, whatever. But I was like, I don't know. Like I think Josh Harris is just gonna let this season play out, and he's just gonna throw a grenade in there and just blow the whole thing up and revamp everything. So I feel like this is like the actual first season of like this new era. Like last year, I remember like, oh, new era, like we have a new owner. I'm like, it's gonna look different, like even more so the next year. Like when he actually has time to do what he wants to do. He was just thrown in kind of like at the worst timing of changing things up. But then also like the stadium, like the big changes, like at the in Ashburn, like the practice facilities, like all that stuff. I think is like what I'm looking forward to is like going back home, going to training camp, going to games, seeing how this new stuff looks like. Someone actually taking care of our team and in our home field. So I'm excited.
We saw the small steps last season at Ashburn, even though it was a small amount of time. There's just a thought.
Like bleachers,
chairs, provided water. Like it's a small thing.
Yeah.
That takes things to the next level. That's just a small step. This year we're going to take a next step. It's a process, but if you're doing it the right way, you have to trust it. But if it's being done wrong, there just can't be no process.
Yeah, honestly, like training camp last year was probably the most fun I've had since like the old days in Richmond. When they were like having big setups in Richmond too. Like that was like my favorite thing to go to as a fan was, walking to Richmond, like parking far away and then like having to walk to training camp. As much as I hated it, I'm like, man, just looking back on like those were the good days. And I think we're starting to get back to that, like I said, just the small things, adding bleachers, people not like sitting on the grass or just standing there for hours and, dying of heat. But I think we're finally in some good hands.
You go ahead, Kate. I know you got a question.
Who, me?
Yeah, you had that space earlier.
Hey man, I'm just.
The spaces is dangerous, man.
Yeah, I just need this draft to hurry up, bro.
16 days. We got 16 days.
And it's a slow 16 days.
Well, it's about to be 15, so.
That's true.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, we get criticized for these free agents. Oh, you spending it on Dollar Tree players. I'm like, okay, but a first regime together, why would you spend a lot of money? And when we did spend a lot of money, we got criticized for that as well. So what do you want us to do? When we spent money on the Albert Hainsworths of the world, or even when we spent money on Terrell Pryor, or even when we spent money on freaking Adam Archuleta,
William Jackson.
Or William Jackson, or Landon Collins when we paid him a lot of money.
Well, I love no Landon Collins slander. That's my
boy. No. I'm not going to slander.
That's my dog, man.
Yeah. I'm just saying the contract situation. You're criticizing us. Oh yeah, y'all spending. I'm like, bro. Okay, so my GM just said supplemented free agency you build through the draft. Hello, like this is what good teams do. You want us to build an entire roster in free agency? That's not how things work. You want to fill the holes, some holes in the free agency, and players that can set the tone for you.
Yeah, but like honestly, I think people are sleeping on like the players we did get. Like even aside from like Frankie Lavu, like I said, I think Tyler Biotis is going to be a really good center. I think people sleep on him. I think Dorrance Armstrong is going to be good because he showed in like those limited snaps, like he can produce, he can get sacks, and he's going to be in that same scheme with Dan Quinn and Coach Witt. But if you look at these contracts, especially those 3-year contracts, the first year is super cheap. The second year is cheap too. It's like it allows you to where if things aren't working out,
you can just cut
them. Year 3, you have an out on most of these, but you have a foundation, you have a team that's ready to go, you have some veterans that can contribute, and you have some young players that you're really hoping can, take that next step. So it's just laying down the foundation. I mean, we lost like double-digit amount of guys in free agency. We can't be rolling out with a bunch of practice squad guys. Be like, all right, guys, here we go.
and all of the contracts that you're looking at, they're not even high cap hits. Like, granted, would I want the Brian Burns of the world? Did I want Tyrone Smith? Sure. Did I want Jonah Jackson? Yeah, sure. I wanted those guys. Tyler Biotis, he's going to be solid. Cowboys fans try to tell me on the app, we always wanted him gone, this, and that. He gets bullied. Okay, cool. I get that, but the guy is what? 4th lowest in pressure rate allowed,
and he's super young still.
And he's a veteran center. He's seen about everything, and I listen to some of these podcasts, like Con Podcast, even Kevin Sheehan on his podcast. They say, look, him and Dak Prescott really benefit from each other. We gonna need a veteran center to help this rookie quarterback that we're going to bring in. So we still got some work to do. Granted. And then next year, we're going to have over $90 million cap next year.
It's going to go up again.
So, So when people tell me, what do y'all do? I'm like, okay.
And then you got the people talking about, let's go get Ayuk. Ayuk's available. Y'all got the money.
I would love
Ayuk. I would like it, but with the plan of this team, I don't think it's going to happen.
I think the Adam Peters connection helps out. So I'm like, that's what I had to do my stream on today. It was like possible drafts, like including like, draft picks and stuff. And Ayuk's up there because, you want to talk about Jaden Daniels. Obviously, they play together at Arizona State. They have that connection. I don't know if they're close because if you remember when Jaden Daniels left, people were like, the players were dogging on him. They're throwing his stuff away in the lockers. Like they were pissed that he left. So I don't know if they're like close or whatever. But then, like I said, with the Adam Peters connection, like if the 49ers are going to trade him, which that would be really hard to do because he's a really good player, like you don't want to trade him. But if you don't plan on paying him long term, I think they would look at Washington and be like, okay, we know Adam Peters is going to do the right thing. They're going to give us something that Adam knows it's a fair deal towards us. Like it's a respect thing, honestly. It's not like, we're going to send him to the Chiefs or something like that, But yeah, I would love Ayuk because we still got plenty of money to spend if we were to get a guy like him or maybe trade for Newsome. Like I wanted Snead, but apparently we were never in on the whole Snead thing because kind of old anyways, but he still would have been worth it. But like those year 1 contract deals help you to have that flexibility. If something does come up, you're like, okay, we can pay a guy like Ayuk long term, or like there's no way it's gonna happen. Like T Higgins, like for instance, like they left the window open, but they still covered their basis of like setting the foundation of the roster. I think they did a good job. Like I said, it's not like the craziest names out there. Like, we didn't trade for Brian Burns. Like, okay,
when people said, they're killing free agency, I was like, they're doing a good job. I wouldn't say killing it. I think right now the Texans are killing free agency, but I say for what we did, I think it was pretty good for what you want to do to start as a new regime, as a GM. You want to be cautious, but you still want to be slightly aggressive. But I think in this draft is when he's really going to get aggressive for certain players, especially if they fall.
Oh yeah, and I think we'll talk about it. There's definitely there's going to be an opportunity to snag someone that's fallen.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
For me, if I would spend, I know there's not that many available left, but maybe it's a player at the draft, another team maybe draft, and they may be open for. But it's the tackle. If I want to spend any money right now left over, I still want the tackle. Because Wiley for me, I'm sorry. I'm
trying to think what tackles are even left.
Like tackle next year.
Like Mekhi Becton's only one that really comes to mind that's like available still.
Maybe post June first cuts, there may be a somebody, but I don't want to see Wiley.
Charles Leno. No, just kidding.
is not coming back.
No. I think they go high on a left tackle, and then they get a right tackle in like one of these middle rounds, and maybe they still start Wiley. Maybe they move him. I don't think they move him to guard though, because they've kind of filled that in as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Wiley's like a worst case scenario kind of thing, and fans are gonna hate it. But maybe they get someone in like the third, fourth round. And he ends up being really good in camp, and then thankfully he can start. But they brought Cornelius Lucas back, and he looked really good that one game. I know it was one game, but still, can he like sustain that for a whole season? I don't know.
I don't know either.
As a swing tackle kind of guy.
Yeah, I think he's more a depth piece, a solid depth piece.
Yeah. So one thing I'll say about this team is you see the formula that has been established with a couple of teams. You saw the Texans last year. They signed about 20 about free agents to fill some spots and build the draft. It's very similar to what Washington is about to do. And I love that formula. And, you know, like Caleb said, this is where we'll see Adam Peters cook, especially with the number 2 pick. And the amount of talented players from tackle to wide receiver and maybe a couple defensive guys that's talented might slide to these later rounds. It's going to have a lot of options for Washington, what they can do.
Yeah, this is honestly one of my favorite drafts. Like I just remember before the college football season started, I was like, holy smokes, this is gonna be a good one. Like we finally have a really good quarterback class, but the wide receiver class was like already built up to be like one of the best in a long time. And then you had a bunch of guys ball out throughout the season, like Xavier Legette. Brendan Rice had a big season. Troy Franklin stepped it up. Like there's a lot of guys who just had huge last years in college. And the wide receiver class is loaded. So maybe you don't trade for an Ayuk because you have a really good wide receiver class, but especially tackle too. But having that number 2 pick, and I've said this before, it's so hard to get the number 2 overall pick. Like, and there's still fans that want to trade back. And I'm like, you won't be in this position again, like for a while, you know, hopefully.
Yeah.
It's hard to get that 2. It almost didn't happen. Like there's a lot of close calls. Like
the only time where I've said trade back is if I'm Adam Peters, and I've said this multiple times, you only trade back if you don't love Jaden, Drake. If you don't love them, then yes, then you trade back. Don't just trade back because you want to accumulate more picks. Just there has to be. Yeah, no, you don't have to do that. But unless we're going to get to that conversation later, but unless you really like Penix, if you really think he can fit in that mold, then we can have then if I'm Adam Peters, I'll be thinking about that. If you really think Penix is going to be one of those ones at the next level, then we can consider trading back, and you still accumulate a first round pick if somebody wants Drake May or Jaden Daniels, and you
Not
still
trading
get
back
your
for
guy.
JJ McCarthy.
No, and I'm not a JJ McCarthy fan, but like the more I watch like the film and stuff, I'm like, I get it. Like he's super young too. Like we can't talk about Drake May's upside. And I know Drake May has shown you more like production than JJ McCarthy has because he hasn't really had to. But we can't talk about the upside of Drake May and then discredit like JJ McCarthy, who's like barely 21. But this isn't like the Kenny Pickett draft class where it was like Kenny Pickett, Matt Corral, Sam Howell, Desmond Ridder. If that's the case, then yeah, we're trading back from 2. We're taking all your picks. Whoever wants to trade up for whatever player at 2, then that's fine. But this is a draft class where it's actually going to be probably 4 quarterbacks off 1, 2, 3, 4 to start the draft. Like this is a completely different class. Like we knew Caleb was going to be good. Drake May has been a top 10 pick since before the last season even started in college. People were like, watch Jaden Daniels. Let's see what he does. He could be one of those top picks. JJ McCarthy came out of nowhere. So it's just set up to be a really good quarterback class. And there's no way, and I say that to say this, there's no way Adam Peters and Dan Quinn are going to be like, yep, Caleb's the only one we like. And we missed out on him, so we don't like any of these quarterbacks. Like between Jaden Daniels, Drake May, JJ McCarthy, you're telling me like they wouldn't like one of those 3 guys? Like, then who would they be banking on? Like Bo Nix, like you said, Michael Penix? No, you can't sit here and tell me that they would rather have like Michael Penix and trade back than have a Jaden or Drake or wait till next. I had people say like, oh, wait till next year. I'm like, wait till for what? Like, just for the Shedeur Sanders hype or Quinn Ewers, who I don't even think is that good. Like,
I think
No.
Cam's going to end up being better than
or
Cam Ward.
Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cam Ward's a baller too. But still, you never know. Like, he could get hurt. Like,
Yeah.
or you could win more games than you think. You're like, dang, now we're at like 12. Like, we're not even in a position to take the top quarterbacks. And now we got to trade more picks to get back to that 2 spot that we were in last year. So, like I said, it is hard. As bad as we were last year, it's super hard to get the number 2 overall pick. Don't trade back. Just take who you want. Like, even if it was JJ McCarthy, I'm like, whatever. That's fine. Let's roll. I trust whatever y'all decide to do. I'm not going to be mad at it. I'm still going to get a jersey, and I'm going to hype the shit out of him all season long until he starts sucking. I'm like, all right, this guy ain't it. but I think they're in a good position to take whoever it is. And I'm not team anybody. I like Drake May. I like Jaden Daniels.
They're just a fencer. There's nothing wrong with being a fencer. We have plenty.
No, it's just like I see the good things and the bad things in both of those guys. It's more of like, what do you want? Like, do you want a quarterback that's going to start and hit the ground running like CJ Stroud did, or do you want a quarterback that might take some time to develop, but be really good like a Josh Allen? Like, what would you rather have? And like, I'm fine with either. Like, it's better than what we've had in a very long time.
Well,
if it turns out to be like that.
Since we're talking about quarterbacks, DT, we might as well get this thing started, good
So we're
brother.
about the halfway point. Let's go ahead and start this mock.
Oh, you gonna get the mock?
Fire up to number 2.
All right. All right. We're about to begin at Washington, obviously. Already had it. And we can go ahead and get this draft started. All right. Pick number 2.
Who would you want? Well, I think I know who Kayla wants.
Hey, man, apparently, everybody that's in the past couple of weeks, Adam Schefter, media guys, I know Kyle said, don't listen to media guys. It has to be some type of weight here where there's a lot of chatter about Jaden being the guy over Drake May. And I know
So maybe that chatter is just hiding them wanting May.
I know personally, I'm just like Josh. It don't really matter to me. I think both these guys are talented. But I do see the difference is Jaden is a guy that you can think is more instant impact starter, where Drake May, down the line with his season, he could be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL if everything goes right for him.
Mm-hmm. It's just for me, like Drake May at his point right now, like he's like what? He's like 21, isn't he, or something? He's super young. At his point, like at his age, he's farther along. He's better than what Jaden Daniel was at his age. Now, the thing I like about Jaden is he does have experience. Like I loved that about Justin Herbert when he came out, like how much experience he had. But it's like a good experience. It's not like I want to say Bo Nix, but people are high on Bo Nix. I'm not high on Bo Nix, but Bo Nix has been in college. It seems like 20 years. Like, but he's not like a top 5 pick in my opinion. Like you can have experience and not be good, but Jaden Daniels just had like one of the best seasons, like statistically in college football history. Like, you can't deny that. You can't deny what he does on his legs. But it's just like, can he get better? Like, that's the thing about age. Like when Terry came out, I love Terry to death. He came out at like 24. He was super old when he came into the draft. People like, can he get better? Like, or is this like his max? And he got better. Like, thankfully, he turned into a beast when he came into the NFL. But you have to think that of like quarterbacks too. Like, can Jaden get better, or is like this his ceiling? Like, what does that look like? Because we know Drake May is still super young, and there's still like potential to tap in. Can he do it? Is the thing. So it just depends how you look at it.
Yeah, I agree.
Go ahead, Caleb.
That's how I look at it, Josh. That's exactly how I look at it. People say, "Oh, we're ready to go now." For me, it's like we shouldn't be in a rush. Of course, I want to win, but Rome wasn't built in a day. And if you listen to what Adam Peters said when he first got here, he said the first year it is what it is. Second year, you're going to see progress. Third year, you're going to most likely see the final result. It's going to take 2 to 3 years, ladies and gentlemen, unless something crazy happens where everything's going full front, which is very, 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 very rare. People say, look at the Texans. The Texans they just didn't start. It took them 2 years. Like they were bad for 2 years. They were literally bad for 2 years. They already had a bookend tackle with Deshaun Watson and Laremy Tunsil. Then they weren't good that year. They traded him. Then they picked the
Got
right
a
guys.
lot of picks. Yeah, they got a lot of picks.
And they picked the right guys. Me personally, I want Drake May. I don't want the guy who's better right now. I want the guy who's going to be better than him 10 plus years down the road. I think Drake May can be that guy. Do I love Jaden? Yes. I like what he brings to the table. I like his release. I like his footwork. His mechanics. Yeah, his mechanics are better. I would say his mechanics are better than Drake May right now. But I feel like Drake May can make every throw on the field in whatever way possible, off platform, rolling to his right, but if he's throwing to his left, or rolling to his left and throwing to the right side, he can do that. I know you shouldn't take the pro day so seriously, but you saw that. But I just feel like with Drake May, I don't want to see him go to the Vikings with Kevin O'Connell, and you're going to see him at his best. Kevin O'Connell knows what he's doing. God forbid he goes to the Giants and you let Brian Daboll get his hands with him like he did with Josh Allen.
That's the thing too. Is what I don't want to happen is like whether we take Drake May or Jaden Daniels. I don't want the other one. I'll even throw. Yeah, I don't want JJ McCarthy thrown in the mix and be like, God dang it, we should have took JJ McCarthy because he's like a Pro Bowler with the Vikings. Like, it is all about situation. It is all about, and the people will think I'm stupid for saying this, but I think Bryce Young is a really good quarterback.
He is.
That situation he was in last year was the absolute worst.
He had 2 receivers that were bottom 5 in separation this year.
They never ran the ball.
No, they couldn't do anything. Like, defense was it. And I'm so excited for him to have Dave Canales there. And he's already like started talking about like we need to start over with his release, his footwork, like just talking about like what he does with every single quarterback that he's ever been with and like what works and why it works. And like hearing a coach talk like that, I'm like, yes, please, like get like that's what we need here. Like and I think Cliff's gonna do the same thing. I think Brian Johnson's gonna do the same thing. And I think I'll even go down to Coach David Blow, who was a pretty good quarterback back in college, played with the Lions for a little bit, didn't do much in the NFL, but we have such a quarterback-focused offensive staff.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a bunch of, like, run-heavy. It's not like the Callahans. Like, it's, no offense to them, but, like, it's not like we're just going to be running the ball 50 times a game kind of thing. Like when we had Coach Callahan here a few years back, like, we were like, gosh, no one here can really develop a quarterback. But I think the way we've built it out, like those 3 guys are going to get together, whoever we draft, and say like, look, this is what we can do. Like his strengths, this is what he needs to work on. So I think we have a good situation. Yes, I would love to build the offensive line. Yes, I would love more weapons. But coaching staff wise, I think we are in a good spot.
Yeah.
And I don't believe with the coaches so far that we have, I don't believe they have so far. You don't know how training goes and how when they start interacting on the field. But one thing I noticed is all of the coaches they've gotten don't got big egos. They like all want to work together, which is great. Like they all willing to listen and learn, no matter if they've been coaches before. They all want one goal to help us bring Washington football back together.
Yeah, and even like, and I know you hated the Marcus Mariota signing, but even having him here, like he's been through it. Like he, Heisman winner, very productive at Oregon. He's been through so many different offenses. Like I said, when I was talking to Austin yesterday, he was like right now, Marcus Mariota is just playing the role of QB1. Like even in just these on the field warmups where they just started last week, he's like leading everybody. He's playing that part. And then once another quarterback comes in or whatever, he's obviously going to compete, but he's like, I'm just ready to lead this team. Like, that's what I came here to do.
Marcus. That's what I've been wanting.
Yeah.
That's what I've been waiting from him.
And, like, would we have gotten that from Sam Howell? No.
Yeah.
We also got draft picks for Sam Howell. Like, some good ones.
He's in good situations.
Yeah. So, I know it sucks. Like, I like Sam. It didn't work out the way I hoped so. But having Marcus here with a rookie quarterback, regardless of who it is, I don't care if it's Jaden, JJ, Drake, he's going to help whoever that rookie is get things going. And I think that's a super underrated part of, the coaching staff, but also having an on-the-field coach, too. Like, the one who's seeing the same things.
How much of a leader is Mariota? Like, in the past, that's why I really was shaky on him. Because I don't know about in Philly, but Atlanta, he wasn't too much of a leader.
He left. He left
Yeah, he
during
quit with his team, so like, that's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have left
I
that
would
place
see him
too.
grow from that.
Yeah. But I think Drake May too pissed the people
Jaden?
off. DT.
Yeah, where
I'm
we
fine with it. Like I said, I don't have a favorite. I will say I've gone against Adam Schefter once, like saying like, oh, he don't know this time. And he shut us all up. He's like,
Yeah.
nope, I still got it. So like, I think it will be Daniels. I think it will be. But like I said, I have no problem with Drake May.
But then again, I'm just when the people told me that, I tell them the same thing John Comm said. And John Comm is one of the most accurate reporters we've had in years in this city. And he said, whatever the media tells you, I wouldn't buy into that. Like, yeah, we know Adam Schefter said it. We know so-and-so said it. We know Daniel Jeremiah said it. But look, we don't know what they're going to do. Like, they could go Drake May. They could.
Also, do you think I'm going to ask y'all this? Do you think the history of the 49ers, taking Trey Lance and then things actually working out with Brock Purdy, do you think that has any influence on who they take a quarterback? Like saying like, oh, we went for the athletic upside guy and it crashed and burned.
So should we going to do the opposite? Nah,
So should we go with the experienced guy? And honestly, people are going to think it's, Trey Lance, Jaden Daniels. No, it's Trey Lance, Drake May, and then Jaden Daniels, Brock Purdy, because they had that experience. They, like I said, in college, they were more day one ready than maybe Trey Lance or Drake May would have been, even though they're not the same player.
I just think Adam Peters said this is the hardest position to evaluate. You really don't know. Like, you just really don't know. But
you don't know about any of these players, but especially quarterback.
Yeah, you just don't know. Like, Penix could be the best guy of this class, and everybody else could be trash. 1, 2, 3. History shows that one of those quarterbacks, two of them are not going to work out.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that's not us.
And most of the time, it is because of the situation. But then it's also just reaching for a guy like Zach Wilson. First off, I never liked Zach Wilson. I really didn't like Trey Lance either. I'm like, guys, I don't see anything on tape that y'all see besides him running dudes over. But I'm fine with taking Drake May at 2.
Whatever. What you want?
It's 3-1, so I guess we're rocking with Drake.
DT, he don't care.
I don't matter. I want to fit, so y'all. Okay. So y'all two say man, you want to fit.
But hold on, as soon as you hit this though, it's gonna go. I don't know if you have it set on turbo speed. Do you want to try to trade up into the first round before you select a quarterback?
Yeah. Do you?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Me too. We gotta get that tackle, man.
I really think they're going to do that. By the way.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, I really think so too.
I think the guy maybe a Mims. Do you think they like Mims or Fatanen? I think those two.
I think it's Olu Fashanu. I think he's the guy that falls down.
I think the Saints. I think the Saints pick up Olu because after hearing about what happened to their tackle, if Olu's still there, I think the Saints get Olu.
Oh, absolutely. But if you pause it like right here, I think this is where you're starting to look. I think the Vikings try to trade up. I'm looking at 12, 13, 14. One of these teams, I'll say Broncos, Raiders, one of those teams are going to miss out on a quarterback. The Raiders don't have that many like high quality picks. The Broncos really don't either.
I'd probably talk to the Saints right here.
I don't think the Saints
need the tackle.
I know they did that Jahan year, but yeah, they need offensive line so bad.
And their upper tackle is going to be out for the year. That's why I said I think if Olu is
he might not play again.
Or maybe they may like Fuaga more. Maybe the Saints like Fuaga.
So, looking at this is pick 12. Very juicy, but this looks like possibly 36 and maybe 139, 152, and probably 4 next year.
So, I mean, the Broncos need a quarterback so bad, but if you miss out on a top quarterback, are you really going to take Bo Nix or Michael Penix here, or are you going to wait till the second round?
Unless they really, really love him. I mean, to be honest, I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. I really think Penix is going to be drafted 13, 14, 15, 16. Preferably probably to the Seahawks, now that he got the OC there.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders get Penix.
No, Raiders too. It could be one of those guys. But I really think if Olu was falling, you gotta get into the teens.
Yeah, 12 is like a 12, 13 is a spot because, like I said, Saints probably going to get Olu if he's there. It would probably take 36.
One of the thirds and like
I think what I did was I did 36, 152 in a first next year.
whew,
Dang, I just did that.
It's gonna be tough.
First day.
whew.
Hey, look at the history of moving up. I forgot who it was. I was looking at like past trades into like the teens from the second round, and it was close to that, honestly. But if you think about it, you're getting a top, in my opinion, a top 5, top 6 talent guy in Olu just because he
You
has
are.
small hands.
Oh, you are.
Oh,
You
yeah.
are.
Like, I love
That-
that's,
what- that-
'Cause if-
my
'cause
top
if-
questions aren't going to be.
If
why
Sam
would you
worked
go?
out, if
It
Sam
was
worked
another
out,
tackle
he would've
late
been a
in the
pick.
draft.
yeah, if Sam worked out, I would have wanted Olu. When we were sitting at 5, 6, I said, yeah, give me Olu for Shanu.
oh yeah. That
So
dude's a beast, man.
Yeah,
He's such a good dude too. I think he fits like exactly what
I'd pick him
they
up.
want here.
I'd pick him
So,
up.
in my opinion, like a first next year, that is what it is. You're more than likely taking a tackle, anyways. If you don't take one this year, you're definitely taking one in the first next year. So I think it's worth it. People are like, "Ooh, that's too much." I'm telling y'all, like, look at the history of what it took for teams to trade back up into the teams, the teams like the 12, 13 range. Seems like a lot, but you got the Sam Howell pick, our second. We still got another second, and then a first next year.
Well, I tell you what, I'm about to pull this trick.
Yep. Go ahead and do it. It sounds
Go ahead, do it.
good.
Boom.
There you
Just
go.
like that.
Yeah, 12.
Watch, Olu's not even gonna be here. But oh,
All right, so we got Faga, we got Pat from the Latu, Troy Fasano, Dallas turn up.
Right, go ahead and get, stop playing games. Go ahead. Go.
he said Dallas Turner. You better click that Olu.
I'll be so
Yeah.
mad.
They said Quinyon Mitchell. I'd be like, oh no, I like Quinyon.
Hey, I think Quayon Mitchell gonna be good though.
Yeah,
I do.
I think he's the best corner, honestly.
A corner that I don't like is Nate Wiggins. I watched a few of his
Man,
games
I don't
after
know.
the Pro Bowl, and I do not.
He's tiny.
Yeah.
Oh, he's good.
He's
Like,
fast. but
yeah,
that's
he's
about it.
good. After that North Carolina game where I forgot who was running, he chased him down the sideline and popped it out of the goal line. I was like, yeah, he's got something to him. But like I said, we still got pick 40. So you have Drake May, Olu Fashanu. So you have your franchise left tackle for the next 20 years.
Now here,
What receivers are available?
yeah, well, here I'm picking BPA. Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm picking BPA at a position of need. So I feel like we do need an edge. You do need another corner. You do need another
Receiver.
receiver.
Yeah.
For tight end, you can wait.
I already know who I'm going to pick.
Yeah, tight end, you can wait. I still want an interior offensive lineman. I still want a left guard, possibly.
Oof.
The best thing you can have on a team is depth at corner and depth at O-line. So I'm addressing that in the middle rounds later with one of those thirds. But right here, I'd probably, depending on who's there, at receiver,
Look at receivers.
I wouldn't. I don't want Troy Franklin.
What? Come on, that dude. I love.
So hear me out.
Franklin,
So
man.
hear me out, Josh.
Is Leggett still available?
Oh yeah, he's probably
Yeah.
high 50s, low 60.
I like Troy Franklin, what he brings to the game, but I feel like he's already we have receivers like him, in my opinion. I think Troy Franklin's really good, but I feel like we need a yak guy, a guy who's going to catch the ball and bully somebody, or we need a guy that'll just go up and get it and moss you. So Leggett, maybe Keon Coleman, a guy that adds a different flavor to the receiver room.
I
But
get it.
We already got receivers that are fast, deep threat ability. They can be route runners from time to time, but we don't got a guy over 6 foot, Josh. We need
What, 6'3"?
yeah, but he's just
He is separate. He's a separator.
Yeah, he's a separator.
Separate.
he is a separator. But I feel like I just need a guy with a little bit of oomph to
I
him,
know. And
Yeah.
that's something I've debated like with people too. Is like people like, oh, we have to get a big receiver. I'm like, do we? Because Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle is probably one of the best duos in the NFL, and they're 5'11".
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
5'11". They ain't no 6-footers in that whole wide receiver room. But I
That's
get
like
it. Like Jahan's a
physicality. I want a receiver
separator.
that's
Yeah.
physical in a
I,
row.
I do like now edge. We do need to,
Yeah.
but I don't know if any of these guys are worth being picked at edge. And if I
Adisa
want,
Isaac, in my opinion, is a top 40 pick.
if I want to be diabolical here, I double dip on tackle.
Who's
What's wrong with it?
I think Kingsley was there at 40.
He was.
If he wants to play
Kingsley
right.
is 45.
Yeah, 45.
Get Wiley out of there.
Oof.
Get
But then
Wiley out.
corner, I must say something that's a hot take too. If you go to the very top, one end, this is like Jordan Reed's like favorite player in the draft. This dude is a baller. I know he's super small, but Mike Sanderstill is a baller. He had like what 6 interceptions last year from the slot. That's crazy. And that Michigan defense is like as pro style as of a defense as you will ever see in college.
But would that interfere with Forbes if Forbes is going to be moved to the slot?
Nah, Forbes ain't gonna be.
No. Forbes needs to play outside. No, because if you put him in a slot, you're just gonna run at him. Sorry.
Oh yeah, he need to be on that island outside, play some man coverage under Dan Quinn's defense. I think he's gonna be really good this year. I know that's a hot day. People are like, shut up. I'm telling you, like. And
I believe it because he was just put in a bad situation. Like on the field and off. Like one player wants to get benched and they go back in the game. There's some games you don't play for players like a Christian Holmes or other players that who's not even on nowhere near anybody's rosters right now. You just got drafted, and then the next week you play a minute, get benched, and you got going against the best wide receivers.
Yeah. You're playing AJ Brown. You're coming back.
Over top of you or nothing.
I think I'll go corner here.
I'm leaning between getting a tackle and probably getting a corner for Riffle.
But I'm gonna be. I know I brought up Mike and I kind of like threw corner in here, but I said this on my corner video. Dan Quinn has no problem, and you've kind of seen it with our top 30 visits, getting like a third rounder, and they just turn into like an all pro type of guy. Like when Trayvon Diggs went down, Deron Bland was like a 6th round pick out of Fresno State, 5th round pick. No one knew who the heck Deron Bland was. Even Cowboy fans, like the bandwagons, like, who's this guy? Like, oh, God, Trayvon Diggs is down. Our defense is going to suck. Like, nah, Stephon Gilmore came back to life out of nowhere. And Deron Bland looked good. And then he drafted I think Marquise Bell was undrafted. And he moved him from safety to linebacker. And he was actually a really good linebacker. Like, he was one of the top graded linebackers on PFF last year. And his first, rookie season, he got moved to a linebacker. So I think Dan Quinn and Coach Witt have no problem getting like a Cam Hart, a Kyrie Jackson, Elijah Jones. And I'm telling y'all, if you haven't watched Elijah Jones' tape yet, that dude is so good in coverage. He needs to work on his tackling a little bit. He kind of reminds me of Forbes, but I think he fits exactly what they want to do. So I don't know if I'm taking a corner here. I know I said Senior still, but
my saying Kyrie Jackson round 3.
Kyrie's a beast.
Pick 3 or pick 2.
Now, unless y'all like Ricky Pearsall or one of those guys.
Leggett gone.
I personally like Ricky, but I still think Keon Coleman is right there. I'm picking him.
I'll agree to the Keon Coleman because I think.
Yeah. Okay, so
we're going
before I pick Keon, I want to ask you about, since you cover Penn State and you're a huge Bama guy, what are the differences in Adisa Isaac game and Chris Bradford game?
Broswell is definitely like a stronger guy. Adisa Isaac is a high twitch, high motor. Like his get off is crazy. He's super athletic. I think Broswell is just like he has some speed to him, but he's just a little bit stronger than Adisa Isaac. Super productive. I mean, they both were. And then like Chop Robinson, he was a linebacker. He moved to edge, so he's kind of like still raw in the position, just like Micah, and just like Abdul Carter's about to do. And Abdul Carter's about to be like possibly better than both of them. Abdul Carter's a beast. But if I had to pick between the 3, man, it might be Adisa Isaac. Like I love Adisa Isaac.
Yeah, I think we also got to look at who fits the scheme. Dan Quinn scheme a lot, and I think what you just
But
said is,
what is the scheme? They said it's going to be something totally different.
we're gonna
Nobody knows.
they're
Maybe it's
still
not going to be
gonna
something that he's done in Dallas before. What if it's something totally different?
they're still going to implement their system, Caleb, but they're going to switch it up. You know, like they said, they're not going to run the same stuff they ran in Dallas over here. They're going to be in the same division. Everybody's going to know that. They're going to switch some things up. Yeah. However, you see the implement of what they're trying to do. We can run a 4-3. We can run a 3-4 based off the depth at our with our linebackers now and the position flex on some of these edge rushers. So you're going to see Frankie going off the edge with his speed. You're gonna see some blitzing with Bobby Wagner. They're gonna use Jamin Davis.
Chin gonna be blitzing too.
They're gonna use Jamin Davis on the edge. So, and then you got your edge setters with who's the former the guy who was overdrafted from the Raiders.
Clelin Ferrell.
Yeah, you got him. He's a run setter. He defends the run really well. He's an edge setter. That's what he brings to the table.
I think you'll see a lot of 5-2 too. I don't think you'll see many 3 linebacker sets.
Yeah.
And if it is, it's like Jamin's on the line, like ready to blitz. It's not gonna be like, we got 3 guys in coverage. So, it's gonna be a lot of big nickel, a lot of big dime, a lot of like. There's like a new wave. I say it's new wave, but it really isn't. It's man coverage, but you're like strictly playing the quarterback's eyes. Something Alabama's about to do this year coming up, which I'm super excited about with Coach Womack, who came over from South Alabama. But I think that's a lot of what Dan Quinn does too, which leads to a lot of the turnovers. Like he's going to let the defensive line get to the quarterback, but he wants his secondary to play the quarterback, not worry too much about like, I got to run route for route with my wide receiver. But like obviously, if the quarterback's not looking one way, like they cut the field off, they have their progressions and stuff. It's going to be a very defensive friendly scheme where it allows players to just make big plays. And, I'm not just saying that because Dron Bland, broke the record in pick sixes. But I don't know. I think I don't even know if they take an edge rusher that high. Like, I think they'd be fine running with Armstrong on one side and then Clelin Ferrell and Dante Fowler on the other side. Like, I'm not saying I'm against it, but like worst comes to worst, if they go Keon Coleman at 40, and they're like, we're fine on edge. Like it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Well, they still got Andre Jones and
KJ Henry too.
Yeah,
I'd probably go receiver here. I'd probably go Keon Coleman.
Yeah. Keon's still there. Give me Coleman.
Yeah, Keon.
All right. So
he just has to work on like his routes, honestly. Like he has to be a sharper route runner, but he has like all the athletics. He makes crazy catches. He does get open like a lot more than I thought he would for like a guy his size. But yeah, he just needs to work on his route tree a little bit. And this is a hot take too, but I don't think Jordan Travis was that good. I was watching some Florida State games. I'm like, for what he had on offense, he missed some like big time throws. Like against Clemson, Keon Coleman was open so many times and he missed them.
Now, for me here, I personally go interior offensive line. I will go interior offensive line. I will go corner.
I know who me and Caleb about to get.
Blake Fisher is. I like Blake Fisher.
Look at the talent on this board.
I feel like the left guard spot. To me, it's up for grabs. I know we signed
Algoretti.
Yeah, Algoretti.
Yeah, Nick Algoretti.
But he has to earn that position. It should not be given to him. He has to earn that. Granted, we didn't see a lot of reps from him at that position, but he has to earn it. Me personally, I'm drafting Christian Haynes. That's who I draft. Or we could go corner here. Or if you want to, if it's a hot take, you go linebacker. And because Bobby Wagner is only a 1-year deal, by the way. It's only a 1-year deal. And then Jamin, we didn't give him a 5th-year option. Yeah. So what are you going to do at the Mike linebacker position, the inside linebacker position? So you could go many different routes here. I wouldn't go tight end here personally. I would probably go linebacker, corner, or interior offensive lineman. That's just what I would do.
I'm going either Blake Fisher or Kyrie Jackson.
Okay.
Blake Fisher, I think he's a potential day one right tackle.
He'll be so available the next guy. Yeah, give me.
I wouldn't take a chance. I would probably, depending on what you feel like this team needs most, we do need an outside corner. I'm not relying on Michael Davis.
Nah.
I'm not.
No.
I would probably
St.
corner.
Juice.
Kyrie.
Yeah, or St. Juice. His
Yeah.
contract's up, by the way.
I don't know.
I
about
think
you.
his contract is up. He
Yeah,
got
this
one
is
more
the
year.
last year.
Yeah.
Kyrie.
And people, that's the one thing that like makes me mad. People are like, oh, Cam Hart, like people are saying he's the same as St. Juice. Like, I think he's better than St. Juice when he came out of college. And St. Juice also had a ton of injuries coming out too. Like he almost retired when he was at Michigan. A lot happened there. That's why he transferred to like Minnesota. But I think Cam Hart's better. So, like I would go Kyrie Jackson here, or if you want to go Blake Fisher and then get a corner next.
I go Kyrie. I go Kyrie.
I would leave Kyrie. I do like Blake Fisher, but there's also a couple other guys I like that haven't even popped up yet.
I like the tackle from Washington. The right
Roger
right tackle.
Rosengarten. Yeah, we
Yeah,
got
I
top
like him
30 with
too.
him coming up.
Yeah, I'll probably take Kyrie here.
Let's go ahead and take the local boy.
Yeah, bring him back to the DMV.
Give me Chris Jones for the next pick if he's still available.
Oh yeah, Christian Jones. Yeah, Chris Jones is a good one too.
It feels so good to have picks we traded for.
Ain't left. No.
All right.
Is Chris Jones available?
Fisher, right? Hey,
Oh yeah, Fisher's there.
Yeah.
You know what? Go ahead and pick Blake Fisher. Just
Yeah.
let Just let Ricky try out for guard. Let's go let Ricky try out for guard and see what he can
we all
do.
play Fisher, so
I'll take Blake. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and he started like not when like the season ended, but I remember he used to be in like the high hundreds, like almost low 200s. He's a guy that came up quick. Then I know you mentioned Roger Rosengarten too. That's a guy who was like in the 200s ranking wise, and then dude, he had such a good Senior Bowl. So did Jones. They both had really good weeks at the Senior Bowl. So there's some good right tackles in these later rounds. I think there's some upside guys for sure.
Yeah, I think here, I know we talked about edge, linebacker, tight end, Eric All is right there.
Eric All was really good, bro. The injury,
he just can't stay healthy. Yeah, he's
But one thing about Iowa tight ends, they know how to.
they pump him out. Yeah, that's tight end.
he was at Michigan too, though. He started at Michigan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was only at Iowa last year.
How you feel about Cade Stover, DT? You like him, or I know you're Ohio State fan.
Yeah, we talked about him Sunday. He doesn't have elite traits. He's more your classic guy, but he's still learning the position as well. He had a solid productive year with I can't remember how I got quarterback, but he had a solid year this year. But I don't think he'll be right here. I still think he'll be a 4th round guy.
Yeah, there's honestly this tight end class. This is a hot take, but I'm not a JT Sanders fan. I don't think he's worthy of a 2nd round pick, man. Those types of tight ends that come out, unless you're like a Kyle Pitts, like freak athlete, if you can't block and if you can't, be that physical guy, I don't know, man. It takes a while. It takes way more than a year to produce too. I just don't see JT Sanders being like a year 1 guy.
Now, to be fair, I get the blocking aspect, Josh. I feel like if I'm a tight end, if you can't block a parked car, you better be able to get yak.
He got embarrassed on those sleds.
Yeah, you got to be able to get yak. You got to be able to get separation. You got to be able to be explosive. So if you feel like you can do that, I'm not saying he's a Jordan Reed type of guy. I'm just giving you an example of a guy who can't.
I think Jordan Reed was way stronger than he is, though. Like he doesn't have the high end NFL like play strength that I think you need in a tight end. Okay. Like I don't think he's gonna be able to break tackles and stuff. Like when I think about like Travis Kelce, when I think about George Kittle, those are their bread and butter plays. Like they're catching 10, 15 yarders and they're breaking like 3 or 4 tackles on the way to the end zone. You're like, holy smokes, that was a 50-yard touchdown. I just don't think, and like I don't think he has like a polished enough like route tree as a route runner to be like, oh, I'm just gonna like dominate guys. Like I said, like Kyle Pitts, for instance. I don't think he does anything elite. Like now if he's there in like the 3rd, maybe.
Then that's good value for him in the 3rd.
Oh yeah, but people told him I get him at 36. I'm like,
No.
no. Like
I'm just gonna stay right here. I don't know how you feel about my guy, but
Who, Justin?
TV is
Oh
right.
yeah. Cooper.
oh
Beebe,
yeah, Cooper Beebe's a stud. I don't understand how he's so low.
I'd pick him here.
But
I'd pick him here. Right there. When you got a rookie, you got 2 rookie tackles, and then you add a guard for depth. That's really, really freaking good. I'm sorry. Like I told y'all, the best thing you can have on your team is depth at corner and depth at O-line.
yeah, oh yeah, ask the Texans.
Yeah.
Dude, they went through. They lost 2 starters before the season even started. Kenyon Green didn't play at all last season. And then Cushenberry went down starting center before the season started.
Mhm.
And then my guy Drew Scruggs went down before the season started. And he didn't play till like December. He was our 2nd string center. So they were on their 3rd string center to start the year. Laramie Tunsil missed a couple of games. Like I said, Kenyon Green was out. Tyus Howard missed almost the whole season too. Like, dude, they were like on 2nd and 3rd stringers. Everyone's like, oh, they invested so much in the line. I'm like, but they had solid depth. This is what saved them. So I'm not against it. I want to know, is my boy Ben Sennett still on the board or no?
I'm pretty sure
He should be. He should be.
That's a guy I would absolutely take in the 3rd. Like I said, when it comes to tight ends, there's not many I like.
You know what he
Yeah,
reminds
he's right
me
there.
of? It's gonna sound a little crazy, but hear me out.
You gonna say double C?
No, he reminds me of Kyle Juszczyk, but playing at tight end.
Oh yeah,
Because you can put him at fullback.
yeah.
And he can come out the backfield like maybe on a wheel route or on a corner route or a Texas route. Like he can do that, and you can also line him up. However, I don't know. I really value the yak ability in a receiving threat. I like Theo Johnson.
I about to
too.
say so. Theo's your guy.
And I like Jaheim Bell. I think he's a little undersized.
Yeah.
He's undersized. But if he's strong, if he's really, really strong, I don't know. But I take Ben Sinnott over those. Jared Riley's also a guy that's coming up too.
Yeah, that's Logan Paulson's guy.
Yeah.
Like he trains with him. I don't know. Like I think Ben Sinnott's gonna be so good. And I told him at the Senior Bowl, I was like, dude, you have 49er written all over you. Like it's funny you said like Kyle Juszczyk. I'm like, bro, like you would fit exactly what they wanted to do. I was like, but we got Adam Peters now, so like I can say you're like a Washington guy.
I take Benson.
We take Ben if he's still there, right there.
It's between guard and tight end for me. It's depending on what you guys value. Positional value. Me personally, I probably go O-line here because we really need offensive line badly. But
if Theo's there on 39, you get lucky.
That depends. Do you want the next interior offensive lineman? Do you think the next interior offensive lineman to take next pick is going to be better?
I don't know. They paid Nick Allegretti a pretty good amount.
I'd take Cooper Beebe.
Yeah, he's really good. Like
I'd take Cooper Beebe. I take Cooper Beebe. Go ahead and take Cooper Beebe.
That's a big dude, man.
Coop, you coming home?
He said Coop. That's reserved for Amari Cooper, man. We can't.
I'm sorry.
Coop.
Now this,
I'm gonna be mad if Theo goes, man.
He's gonna be gone.
Ben's probably gonna go too.
He's gonna be gone. Watch. He's gonna go to somebody.
Ooh, Jarvis Brownlee on the Ravens would be so good.
Gonna go to somebody. Oh, Willie Last. Watch,
they're gonna go back to back like 137, 138.
Really last.
There goes your boy Cade.
Come on. Oh, he may.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we could.
Click that thing before somebody changes it.
It's not even a question.
It's not even a question.
And it's funny because like when I talked about him before the Senior Bowl, people like,
no, that's not what's going to happen.
It's like, oh, he wears number 34. He's a fullback. Like he won Fullback of the Year award. I'm like, he's not a fullback. He's a tight end who is just that good of a blocker. Like Brock Bowers is like a dominant blocker. He was a better blocker than Brock Bowers was. And I remember when he played Alabama in the bowl game, not this past year, obviously, but the year before that. I was like, yo, who is this white dude running routes on my Alabama team wearing 34, like NFL routes? And we had all of our starters playing, and he was balling out. And he was like, dude, it was funny because like all the players were like talk about him on the field, like, yo, who is this guy? Like, cover him. I think he's super underrated. And I know a lot of people are starting to talk
We
about
should
him
go
now.
linebacker here, Caleb. We should go
Some
linebacker.
depth linebacker, yeah.
Or edge.
There's some depth guys too that we've been meeting with. I think
Yeah.
we got Trevin Wallace, top 30 coming up.
I like that. Ed, I think he's an Ed Keelan. I think that's his name.
Let me see.
Who is that one?
Cedric Gray's probably already gone too.
Oh,
He gives me Ivan Pace vibes.
he may
I think
be
he's gonna
still.
make the same
He may
impact
be
as
still
Ivan.
here, and I'm gonna let y'all know who it is. I hope he's there. I don't think nobody took him either, and I take him here, and it's gonna be a hot take. DT, go to running back real quick.
All right. What you thinking?
Scroll
Rashid
down.
Ali?
I do like Rasheen Ali a lot.
Oh, is Isaac gone?
Isaac Davis, no, he was up top.
No, the dude Isaac. He ran the fastest 40.
Gordon
Darno is like a geek,
Oh
a
yeah,
geek guard.
Garnado from Louisville.
Garnado.
Oh yeah, he gone.
Yeah, he gone. I take him.
Oh yeah,
man.
I would love a speed back. I think you can get one undrafted. I don't think Rasheen
Well,
Ali
you
gets
can get an
drafted.
undrafted free agent, to be honest. But
Yeah.
edge, linebacker, whatever. Yeah, it don't. I don't know any of these guys. I ain't gonna lie.
Curtis Jacobs. I like Curtis.
Is Keelan stood up there.
Oh, Talay is still there. Ew.
Darius Masao out of UCLA. He's good. Trevin Wallace, like I said, we I don't think we've met with him yet, but we have a top 30 plan with Trevin.
Yeah,
I'm looking
think
for
I'm
LSU.
Hold on. Adam Schefter said
Dallas gonna be a sleeper.
no, it says Jaden Daniels is meeting with Washington Monday into Tuesday. I don't know if he's like spending 2 days with them or what. Scheduled to meet with the Commanders Monday into Tuesday.
And they probably gonna take him out to dinner and some more stuff.
Oh yeah, they gonna put him up in some suite somewhere for the night. Pick him up.
He gonna be right up at the National.
All right, we'll be leaving.
So Keelan is gone to defensive end. I think his name was like Muhammad.
Oh, Kamara.
Kamara, there you go.
Oh yeah, he
Yep.
gone. Yeah, he definitely gone.
Yeah,
I think.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, he gone.
Yeah, I like him.
I'd either go linebacker or edge here. Like I said, Curtis Jacobs, he's a good coverage guy. He said he would love to come play here. He actually mentioned Washington as like one of the teams because I think he's from Maryland.
Hold on, Curtis Jacobs. I think that may be. I gotta double check.
JJ Weaver, Cedric Johnson.
That sounds familiar. I think so.
Let me go to page 2. Never done this before.
You never know.
Jeff Cope.
Blake Watson's actually good too.
Yeah, I like his game too.
John Trey Hunter's not bad.
Zion.
Joyce Monroe.
I'm about to say Jarius Monroe is actually a sleeper too. He's like a taller, lengthier corner too. He's some good depth. Kingsley's terrible. Keaton Slovis, oof. Miles Cole, he's a big dude. If you want a depth edge rusher with some upside to him, Aaron Casey's a sleeper too. I know Ian. What's his last name?
Cummins.
Yeah, he's big on Aaron Casey.
He's
too.
like 6'4".
Yeah, I mentioned him one time. He was like, "Yes." He was like, "More Aaron Casey, please." He's a sleeper. That their whole Indiana's defense in general was actually really good last year, and Penn State got their former coach on defense now. Omar Spates is an upside guy.
Yeah, I take a I take a linebacker here. My running back wasn't available. I'd take linebacker, edge.
I'm about to say, put linebacker in and see what we got.
Let me see. If it scroll down,
Because I know we got Pittman. He's a depth guy, but he does a lot of special teams. But we still like roster wise, I still feel like we need like one more to fill the roster.
I would like Jake.
Cool.
Curtis Jake.
Yeah, honestly, I think he is the best upside out of all of them.
Hey, whatever.
Like I say, he said he want to play here, so I'd bring him. I'd bring him home. More Penn State, the better.
All right.
As long as they had them Ohio State players.
He's
What's his name? Honda McCord. I think he's gonna be good for Syracuse, man. I'm happy for him. But I agree with you. I'm not the biggest Cade Stover fan either. I just don't see him as a pro tight end, really. He's a big dude though.
And plus, like when he came to Ohio State, he was one of the top linebackers in the country.
Yeah.
And at the time, he kept bouncing between edge rusher, linebacker. So I don't know.
Yeah, he's still raw.
Yeah. I do have one question for you, Josh. Out of all of the teams, other than us in our division, who are you like most? Who do you think had the best off season in our division, and who do you think maybe teams got worse in our division?
I mean, I think the Eagles had a good off season. Getting Bryce Huff, Saquon obviously is big. I don't know. They're so hit or miss. They're either going to dominate or they're going to fall apart like they did last season. Cowboys, I think, had a terrible offseason. Giants, Brian Burns is nice. I mean, they made some solid like depth pickups too. But
I like one of the guards they picked up.
I'm trying to think who they got on the O-line. They got the dude from the Raiders. I forgot his name.
Raiders.
Yeah, no, he's good too. So I mean, they made some big pickups, but I think the Eagles had a big offseason. As much as I hate to say it, I don't trust Nick Sirianni. I don't think he's a good
I don't like Kellen Moore for their offense.
I think between every team in our division, if I'm being the Cowboys not winning that division.
Oh no,
they're not.
Mike Zimmer.
Not to be a homer, I really feel like that we could possibly. I really don't think we're going to be last in this division.
No.
Whether we get a winning record,
the Giants will be.
Yeah, whether we get a winning record or not, we'll see. But I really see us 8-9. I don't see us winning 10 games. But in order, Eagles, unfortunately, Cowboys, us, and the Giants. Now something crazy has to happen for us to be winning this division, and I don't want it to be no 7-10 season while everybody else is crap and we're just the better out of the bunch. No, I legit want to win this. We take it ourselves.
Yeah.
So
it might be a 2-3 year kind of window. But did you have like the picks, like the recap of them? I just want to see real quick if you still
yeah. So just got to pull it back up.
All right, so Drake May.
All right, we have Drake May, Olu, Keon gave us a deep plus. They said
Tyler crazy.
Better pick.
Yeah, no, Tyler's a beast, but Keon Coleman at 40 is a good pick. I don't really pay attention to these grades on the side, to be honest.
Yeah. I think we built a foundation right here.
Yeah, that's a solid drive.
Kyrie, you got Blake Fisher, Cooper Beebe, Ben Sinnott, and then depth at linebacker. The only thing we didn't get was a safety, which...
And that could be available on like post June 1st cuts.
I'll say Justin Simmons still out there, man. I don't know what's going on with him.
Quandre, I like Quandre Diggs.
Yeah, Quandre.
A little cheaper.
If we sign Justin Simmons and then have this draft, I'd be ecstatic.
Yeah, it'll be fire. But
That rap.
Oh, Caleb, you on mute.
Oh my God. Listen, I said Tyler Nubin was there. I was really debating about bringing him up, but he's a true free safety. I feel like we could add a safety to this room. I'm comfortable with Forrest being our free safety. He led our team in picks 2 years ago, and he had the most turnovers on defense. He created the most turnovers. We do need a strong safety. I feel like Quan can play that. I feel like Chin can play it, but Chin is really going to be a linebacker. But I feel like Quan can play that Buffalo nickel role, that slot strong safety role. I'm not comfortable.
We need Percy to step up this year.
I'm not. I'm
not banking on that.
Listen.
that's the thing.
As much as we said online, oh, Cole Turner, this and that. I'm not banking on them. I'm not banking on Percy Butler. It's time for us to just be like, all right, look, we gonna get impact guys. Like, granted, do I want him to work out? Sure, but I'm not taking nothing for granted. No, I'm not. So,
He's better than Christian Jones.
yeah, I know y'all said Quandre Diggs. However, I don't see him as a strong safety unless you want to move Forrest to strong safety, which I think he can play because he can hit.
Once he got hurt, no one talked about him though. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I talked about him.
Kayla did.
I mean, I'm not
He's
saying he's
good.
bad, but I'm
I
just
think he's
saying.
good. I think for him to create those amount of turnovers, Josh, in that defensive scheme where it's dirty vanilla, it's still pretty impressive.
Oh yeah, I remember that Jaguars game, the first game of that season. I was like, all right, we might have something in Forrest. He had that huge interception at the end of the
What
game.
makes it even better? His jersey number is my birthday, so
22.
Yeah. But I just feel like, and he fits what Dan Quinn wants to do. They said they want a downhill, attacking, aggressive defense.
He put some big hits too.
Yeah,
that's what Forrest and Chin is. You got Forrest, Chin, and Quan running around.
I'm gonna say, I think Quan. If we don't take a safety, I think Quan starts at free safety.
I wouldn't mind that. I think he can play safety and nickel corner.
Oh yeah, I think he can play a lot, but I think him as that free safety where they're gonna let him fly around and because he has the range, like that's what he was known for at Illinois, pass breakups, getting interceptions, being that leader in the secondary, which is a really good secondary by the way. But he is so like he's long and lengthy too, so he can play like you said, like that corner. He can play some safety, but I'm trying to think what because I know he had the interception against the Ravens. He had another interception at the end of the season. I can't remember if he was like playing corner then or if he was playing as a safety when he got that pick.
I think he was playing the slot.
I think it was in the slot because it was across the middle. But if we don't draft a safety, I think they roll with Quan at free safety and then maybe rotate like Jeremy Chin and Derek Forrest at strong safety, which would be fine. Like you have some young players that you want to get the most out of. Like I said, Quan's still young. And Derek Forrest is still young, even though he's been on the team for 3 years now. But is he healthy? Like we just heard no updates. It's like, oh yeah, he's hurt, and it sounded like it wasn't good. So hopefully he can stay healthy. But I will never say no to Simmons on this defense. I don't care what he costs.
An all-pro safety with that defense. You got him, Bobby Wagner.
No, the cost matters. I ain't paid no 30 a year for him.
Oh no, he ain't gonna demand that much.
Yeah, you can't mess up.
And he's from Manassas.
All right, well, that was actually an amazing mock. Thank you once again for joining us, Josh. You're always welcome. Where can everybody follow you at? Catch up on your content and know that you are now a partner with Bleacher Report. You're doing your big one and more stuff to come. Where can everybody follow you?
Yeah, so my @name's down there at Josh Taylor FB, and then on YouTube, I guess it's the second one, just JTFB. Then yeah, if you have the Bleacher Report app, every time you get a notification, it goes live about Washington. That's usually me, Rio. I know some other people starting to do it now. Louis T's doing some too, which like I said, the more the better, honestly. Like I said, we got a lot of really good content creators here in Washington, so I'm excited. I'll be trying to do more stuff on X. I can't do all the spaces and everything like y'all do, man. It's just There's some crazy people out there. Caleb, I know he leads the way on the spaces. I might slide through a couple here and there. I don't say anything.
Just listen.
Oh, it's entertaining. I love when y'all do it. Sometimes I'll pop in for a little bit and just listen. But I'm ready for the draft. I'll be there. I'll be in Michigan. I guess I'm probably gonna give away like a jersey, whoever we draft at too. While I'm at the draft, stay tuned for that. I'll probably put something on Twitter. But yeah, definitely appreciate y'all having me on.
I will be at the draft party. So
that was lit last year too. Like that's the only thing I'm like, dang, I'm missing that. It was so much fun last year.
And I already got my throwback shirt. It's finna be lit. That's what I'm rocking. Yeah. That's what I'm rocking.
It's a good setup. Like they put it in a perfect spot. If it's the same place as last year, it's in a really good spot.
Yeah.
Like right on the water.
Yeah, right at the National Harbor. I'll be there as well for the second year. Caleb, where can people stay tuned and follow you at?
You can follow me at CXLEBJXSTIN. That's Caleb Justin. Just replace the A with the X, the U with the X. As simple as that. Football, basketball, really just about anything. So, basketball season. Let's go, Mavs. Josh, I don't know if you're a Wizards fan, but
no, I'm a Grizzlies fan, so I'm taking the season off.
Yeah, hey, John Morant, one of them ones.
Shout out to Ja. He's from my area. We're South Carolina boys.
Can't hate Ja. He one of them ones. So yeah, man.
Yeah. He's got to stay out of trouble. I love Ja, but everybody's hurt, so I'm just like, it is what it is. We traded my boy Xavier Tillman. Like I said, Ja was been in trouble. Everybody's hurt. I'm just like, whatever, man. We're gonna come back next year though.
Stronger than ever, just like my Wizards. But BT, where can everybody stay tuned with you at?
Yeah, you guys can see my name at D. Cleveland Jr. Y'all know I do multiple podcasts, Red Zone the Lab, Enter the Lab podcast every Thursday on NFL. Also follow the NFL podcast. That's also on NFL. Had a couple of interviews with former players such as Coach Scott, former Carolina player, Total Whoopship number 2. But also catch us on Sundays, the draft coverage, and only on the podcast on them.
Okay, you can also follow me on Twitter, KPOW0922, Talking Sports Commanders. Also catch me every Tuesday here, Fans First Sports Network, with, it's never the Eagles time, It's never the Giants time, and it's definitely never the Cowboys time. Always Command time. Stay safe, everyone.
All right, y'all be safe.
All right, see y'all.
All right. We'll see you guys next Tuesday on Command Time with Kayla, T, and Caleb. Shout out to Josh Taylor for joining today's episode. We'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Got me feeling so free.